Hey everybody.
I am live. Wonderful to have you here. Now, let's have a look. Just waiting to see if anybody is joining us today, but let's crack on. Time waits for no man or woman for that matter. So, I hope you're having a wonderful day and thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your time. And before we begin, please drop a hashtag live if you're watching live, or of course, a hashtag replay if you are catching the replay. And of course, let me know where you're tuning in from. Now, today our topic is repetition equals recognition, the shortcut to more leads and sales. And a client recently said to me, why would I keep repeating the same information again and again? I have said it, they know because they've experienced the same struggles as me, which certainly makes you stop and think for a minute. So today we're going to talk about something most people overlook in their business, why repetition is the key to growth. But I learned it's the difference between making sales or being ignored. And what if I told you that repetition is actually the secret to building trust, authority, and sales? So have you ever felt like you're saying the same thing over and over again, or worried that your audience will get bored if you repeat yourself? I know I used to. When someone suggested I retell my backstory, I couldn't help thinking I would be boring people in my audience. And sometimes that little thought edges its way in, even these days. But I push it away. So let me know. Does this sound familiar to you? Do you experience the same kind of thing? And I'll check the comments in a second. Um, Now, let me ask you to think about ads on TV. How often do you remember them after seeing them just once? You know, the truth is probably never. But after a few times, that message, it does start to stick. The thing is, your audience is the same way. Not everyone sees every post that you put out, first of all. And even if they do, they might not be ready to take action the first time. Now, repetition builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. And that trust is what leads to sales. And honestly, that's why we are here. But the other thing that's very important about repetition is your audience needs to hear your message again and again until it finally clicks. And you can tell that message in many different ways. Do you know the average attention span on social media is just about 1.7 to 3 seconds? People scroll fast. If your message doesn't instantly grab their attention, they'll keep moving. And this is why your hook is everything. A strong hook stops the scroll. It sparks curiosity. It gets your audience to actually read and engage with your content. And because a great hook makes people think, feel, or question something, I just want to give you a few styles that really work very well. The first one is a curiosity driven hook. For example, 99% of people get this wrong. Are you one of them? Or a pain focused hook. Example, struggling to get engagement. Here's why it's not your content. Or a bold statement. I made $10,000 online without ads. Here's how. And then you have the relatable and conversational. I used to hate posting on Facebook until I figured this out. The thing is, your audience is the one strong hook away from paying attention, and that is so important. And it's important to know why repeating your message works. People need multiple touch points before they take action. So that means they need to see you, hear you, read something that you've written. Now, I think I heard it's between 7 or 12, but it's a lot of times. And this is why live video often works very well, or reels, or your stories, because they get to spend a few minutes with you. But your message must be repeated in different ways: stories, posts, videos, and conversations. Don't forget, each time you repeat your message, you are reinforcing your authority and building trust. The key is to stay consistent, repeat your message, and make sure your hooks actually grab attention. And when you master this, you stop worrying about running out of things to say, because when you've anchored yourself to a core message, you're never stuck staring at a blank screen again. Instead of thinking, what do I post today? You simply find a new angle, a fresh story, or a different format to deliver the same message. Your audience doesn't get bored. In fact, they finally start to get it because you're so consistent. And your audience starts recognizing you as an authority because repetition builds recognition. The more often people see you showing up with a clear, consistent message, the more they start to associate you with the solution. It's like branding. If you think of Nike, you instantly think, just do it. Your content can have the same effect. People begin to say, oh, that's the person who helps with whatever your thing might be. And the third thing is you get more engagement, more leads, and more sales. When your audience repeatedly hears your message, it shortens their decision-making process. They don't have to figure out who you are or what you do. They already know. This means they're more likely to engage with your posts, reach out with questions, and eventually buy because they feel they can trust you. Repetition turns cold followers into warm leads, and warm leads into buyers. Now, I have to share this with you before I go because it completely transformed my business. 12 months ago, I never thought this was possible. Well, it's a bit more than 12 months, really. It's probably closer to 18 months. I was posting, I was hoping, and I second guessing everything. Sales felt random, probably because they were, inconsistent and frustrating. And then I found the right program and everything changed for me. I had no tech overwhelm, no more chasing leads that got nowhere, no more wasting time on strategies that didn't work for me. Instead, I just followed a proven process to create simple strategies that actually attract the right audience and turn them into paying customers. I started making sales, not big ones at all, but they became a little bit more consistent. Then I hit my big commission. And then it became even more consistent until I finally hit my $10,000 sale commission goal. And let me tell you when that happened. I knew this was the real deal. That was what convinced me I was onto a winner. So if you're tired of struggling and if you're tired of wondering why isn't this working, then you need to check this out. This system works, and I am living proof of that. So if you are interested in finding out more, drop ready in the comments or message me and we can have a conversation. Now, if you have any questions on anything that we've talked about, or you're watching the replay and you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I do check back regularly, and I'll get a reply back to you. But I'll just give it a few minutes. Okay, I've just realized I've got 2 people watching. How nice is that? Who's there? Drop me a hashtag. 3 people watching. Drop me a hashtag live. so I know who's there with me. Come on, guys, don't be shy. I want to say hello. Okay. Well, as I said, lovely to have you here. I am wrapping up. So I'm beginning to think, did I have the time right? I'm sure I was scheduled to start at 4:30. Wasn't a long live today. 11 minutes I've been talking. So not very long at all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much.